Alright guys, Scrappy again today. I hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Pred and Shotzzy going at it last night with Dashy wading into the discussion as well, but also drama going down elsewhere with Race to Prestige Master back on the menu this year. The OpTic guys are certainly going to be getting involved as Scump has revealed that OpTic won't necessarily be taking it quite as seriously as the Green Wall might be liking them to. Very much into your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. This is Hicksy. Well, where is he? I wonder. Now, well, he's going to the Surge roster for the upcoming season. They're going to be based out of Vancouver, it seems now, because, well, this landmark here in the background, had a look what this is. It seems to be the Harbour Centre here in Vancouver. So, look, it's pretty clear that Hicks is going to that team. I imagine that it's basically now a done deal and locked in. Is that a good idea? Of course, we talked yesterday. They've not decided to bring Hook on board to the roster. They're getting Hicksy instead in that role. aBeZy for Nastie is the change they've made. And then Abuzah and 04 are going to stay around. A team that was very good at the end of last season, probably better than their results suggested according to many of the pro players, but they want to do better. We know that Rambo Ray, the coach GM of the team, has his history with Hook, and not necessarily for good reasons, right? Back on the Dallas Empire days in 2021, things weren't exactly going according to plan, right? But it is worthy of note if that team is actually going to be based out of Vancouver, just because I did tell you guys I might get on Google Maps yesterday, so I might as well do it today. So this is the US of A. Many of the teams, of course, based out of the Dallas area. There are a couple of teams, obviously, like I think the FaZe boys are based out of Atlanta, the Carolina boys based out of Charlotte, as they have even been before. Even I think when it was Londonville Ravens, sometimes they were based out of North Carolina. I think the Florida guys are based somewhere near Miami, or you know, they've been all over the place sometimes over the last few years. Most teams, though, have a facility in Dallas. Obviously, it was a big talking point for Minnesota, right, that those guys wanted to have a facility down in Dallas and not elsewhere. It's also the same thing for the Los Angeles Thieves boys, because we know that they've got that facility over in LA, but they obviously want to play out of Texas. So I think that was one of the reasons why Nadeshot has basically said, all right, guys, yeah, we'll pay for the facility for you guys to play out of Dallas, or like play for an apartment or whatever they're going to do, because that's where they find the most advantage. And, you know, we know that if you're playing out of LA to, you know, players that are playing in Dallas, it doesn't tend to be the best. Often they'll play on some sort of like Denver server, but just generally it favors the Texas teams. And it might be the same story. I mean, Vancouver's a long way away. Obviously, the Toronto boys are based out of Toronto, but actually the Toronto internet lines are rapid, right? The Bell fiber they've got has been almost kind of controversial over the last couple of seasons, just because it's been so fast. So often Toronto will play on like an Atlanta server or something when they're playing against a team based in Dallas, but it still works kind of well. Whereas Vancouver's quite a way away, isn't it, really? And it is obviously on the west coast, where theoretically from an internet POV it's not going to be as strong. So the practice might not be quite as good for the Vancouver based team. They're just further away than like any team has ever been before, basically, especially if you're playing Texas. If you're playing on like, you know, a Denver server or something, it's really not going to be ideal. Even a Nevada server probably isn't optimal. Less than a week, by the way, guys, until Black Ops 6 finally arrives. I mean, it's been a long wait since the Esports World Cup, but it's finally happening effectively. These, by the way, are your Black Ops 6 weapons and how to unlock them. So these are all the guns, it seems, in the game. The SMGs. Obviously, we know about the Jackal that was rather good during the beta, as was the XM4. But yeah, how about the Goblin? The Goblin Mark II assault rifle. I know people have been looking at that thing and damn, interesting gun. Obviously, the Amy's as well. Was that basically like the Krig? I kind of forget what the weapons were in the beta. But yeah, these are some options. Of course, you've got the 3-round burst marksman rifles as well, which the developers want to get one of those in competitive. They would like to have, I think, a 3-round burst weapon in competitive. Maybe a 4-round burst gun, bring the M8 back effectively. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see what the pros decide. We know what these pros are like, especially with Gunsmith. It's likely going to be 2-weapon meta again, but hopefully not with any luck on that front. This is pretty funny as well. I'll share this clip for you guys in the coming minutes here when we talk about the OpTic stuff, but Flames has been on stream. Of course, he was on the Los Angeles Guerrillas roster last season. They brought him in for Assault mid-season. Did a pretty good job. You guys remember that like first or second series he ever played, had the 1 versus 3, had like a crazy map on Invasion, Search and Destroy, but after that it kind of went downhill. The team wasn't great, and after Guerrillas have collapsed as an organization, Flames was the only member of that team that didn't get to go to the World Cup, right? Because Estriel and DiamondCon went on Rocker in the end, Fame went on Vegas, subbing in for Johnny, and then Flames obviously was left out to dry, but he's actually been turning the stream on, and it's great to see this, right? And I'm sure that other players will have to look at what Flames has done and say, like, surely I've got to give this a go, right? Because, look, Flames is an entertaining personality. He's done a killer job on the stream, and of course he's a pro-level player, so he can shoot straight as well. But he's, 1,500 subs. That's a really impressive number, and look, I'll be honest, I don't know why you're going to gift 50 gifted to find out aBeZy's team, but he doesn't leak it, and we'll share what it's going to be apparently in challenges here in a second. But if a pro like Flames, obviously with a good personality, but if he can get to 1,500 subs in a couple of months of streaming, then what might be possible for some of these other pros if they also decide to try and build a community, as they well should, obviously. People were kind of mad about this as well, that he leaked it, but Ronnie's opinion is it's a challenge roster, nobody cares type thing. But look, someone cared enough to drop $250 to actually make this happen. I'll share a little bit more on the rosters in a second. One of the first stories though is on Encourage. So I've talked over the last couple of weeks, really couple of years, about the talent pipeline in COD not really existing especially well. There are a couple of players out there of note, and Encourage is one of them that's kind of been noted over the last year or so as being a potential talent for the future, right? Because we've gone from having Simp, HyDra, Shotzzy, LePred, Scrappy, etc., all coming into the league over the last few years and doing a killer job. I mean, even in Cold War, the Rookie of the Year that year was either Insight or Standy, depending on your perspective, but also that was HyDra's first season as well. Didn't have the greatest year, but you know what I mean? Every year we've had these dominant forces eventually come into the league, really, and over the last, year, hasn't happened. This upcoming year, is it going to happen? We don't really know. So I think it is a concern where the future talent is coming from, but Encourage is going to be joining FaZe Black, so that's an exciting prospect to see how he gets on in challenges there. These are though some of the rumoured rosters, as we saw with, we'll share the clip, but aBeZy's, Gunless, Yeez and Dak, that's going to be the team over there. Capstal's playing with Hook, Prolute and Spart. Apparently that is the team, right? So we talked about Hook yesterday. Where's he going to go? What's he going to do? Is he going to grind out challenges? I think it's a decent idea. When teams come to make a change, you want to have your hat ready to go into the ring, but it's just, who can challenges is a difficult thing to see, but it is what it is. Playing with Cap, Spartan, Prolute, apparently that team, DiamondCon, Fame, Exceed, and YuLi is a potential additional roster as well. Gotta say, I do kind of like this Spart team, with Prolute, Hook, and Capsule. I feel like at least one of those guys, if not multiple of those guys, will be looked to get picked up at some point during the season. When that is, it depends a fair bit, but a couple of things to mention for you guys. This was very entertaining, I'm not gonna lie, from the OpTic guys. So best in the business, they say. Kenny is like, the gags were here, Brandon had to hit the NBA pose, says Sib in the replies. I'll just share the full image for you guys just to ponder on that one. But also it turned out that Shotzzy and AG were hitting the court, and here we go. Shotzzy says the following: AG thinks he's effing Luca. So funny picture, and obviously people that were in the replies like, come on Shotzzy, like share the video, you know what I mean? Like share the video, let's get this going. I think even Pred said on the stream that after his world tour, like he'd put on a bit of weight, so he needs to drop that down again by getting some exercise in before the start of the new season. So here he is on the court, and people in the replies are like, and share the video, like put up a video or something like that. So Shotzzy, obviously sitting on the bench, decides to, turn the phone on, and he hits the following: 0 points, 0 assists, 0 rebounds. So this is very funny. I'll obviously share this full video for you guys in a second, in addition to the Flames clip, but also what Scump had to say on another topic. We believe these OpTic Texas boys are probably getting involved with many of the other OpTic crew in the Road to Prestige Master. It's a thing, again, it's a possibility. Now we are here back on Black Ops 6. They're bringing it back effectively. I'm sure that Doom Clan, among others, are going to be running it back and trying to win the race, as it was known back in the day and is still potentially going to be known as today. Who can get to Prestige Master the first, having an account where somebody is playing on it 24/7. Now the Doom guys, they always have taken it hella serious. They'll play hardcore if necessary to get more, because there's no kill cams or whatever, so the game can run quicker. Like the OpTic guys aren't going to do that. They're probably not going to win, but I know that many were like, look, Scump, at least give it a go, and Scump was obviously kind of gassing this up, as in, the OpTic boys are running it back, we're going to try and win the race again to Prestige Master. And now Scump saying, oh, maybe we're not going to be like super locked in because of various reasons. If we need to watch party a tournament that OpTic Texas are playing, maybe we will. So, you know, there's all sorts of questions. So I wanted to share these clips while, you know, poor AG's getting cooked in the background.
Damn, I gotta do it now, huh? I'll stand on it. I'll stand on it. All right. So I was going to play with Arcetics, but he was trying to figure out teams and shit. So I'm not playing with him. It's him, gunless, Dak, Yeez. I don't care. Shoot me. I'll take the 50 gifted. I leaked. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Whoever their org is, I'm sorry. See ya. I'll take my 50. I don't give a fuck. I'm spilling challengers teams. Shoot me. I'll leak every team in the league. Y'all want confirmations? Fuck the tweets. Nah, I'm playing. I'm done. 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 That's the last one.
I think we're going to do a little bit more free flow because we've never done a race where we are quite literally, again, locked is a strong word. I think I saw Jake Sucky tweet out yesterday that we're going to be locked in the Hex Quarters. Guys, we need somewhere to shower, and unfortunately the Hex Quarters has nowhere to shower. So we're not going to be locked. I think we've allotted the time that everybody has an hour to go shower a day. An hour. But there's a punishment if you go past your hour. So you have to be back within an hour. And again, it's like, it's the race, but like, say OpTic Texas is playing in something and you guys want us to watch party. We are very prepared to be able to do other things. We're all going to have our own setups. Like, we're very, very prepared to do our own things when we're not on our own shifts. Because we're live 24/7. So whenever it's your shift, you're locked in, you're playing. But whenever it's not your shift, you can either be hanging out on the couch or you can be in the background doing some shit.
So obviously Dashy found this rather entertaining. Right, here he is in the replies. I don't know if Hex has seen this clip yet, but if he has, I'm sure he might have some comment on it as well, on you know, whether the boys need to put a bit more time in on the court. And well, obviously Dashy has his perspective on that as well. Very well, prominent NBA follower, shall we say, in the community. But Brick by Bricks is right, like, you know, these changes, if you want to get better, it doesn't necessarily happen overnight. But this is what obviously Scump had to say on the Road to Prestige Master stuff, saying that they're not going to be like locked into the facility. They're going to be able to go home, shower and everything. And I'm sure that, you know, it's going to be someone on the sticks playing the entire time. And Scump says, you know, could it take a week? Could it take over a week, 10 days to make this happen? So, you know, the streams are going to be live. It's a big commitment from Scump and the rest of the guys to make this happen. But at the end of the day, they're not necessarily going for the dub, if you see what I'm saying, right? They've got some other content to do as well. There's going to be like a subathon type vibe when certain sub milestones, they will do certain challenges or whatever, and that's fine. I think that's good for content, but it's not necessarily about winning the race. I know that many people in the replies are like, oh, come on, you've got to commit, you know, got to make sure you're 100% committed. But I think it's going to be entertaining to see regardless, and nice to have this type of content back. I mean, the first week of the game is going to be mega. There's going to be Road to Prestige Master, there's going to be Search and Destroy tournaments, and there's going to be all sorts of tourneys kicking off. I mean, I think last year's game, Modern Warfare 3, was probably the earliest that I've seen teams scrim ever. Usually teams will wait at least a week, maybe 2 weeks after the release of the game to actually start practicing, because the first couple of days you're playing Search and Destroy tournaments, you're playing some chows, and nobody really knows the maps yet. But then people figure that out quite fast, and last year, I think it was literally day 1, if not day 2, I think it was like Ravens and Miami was straight into scrims trying to get a head start. So I wonder what we're going to see on that front this year, because especially if the Texas guys are involved hopping on the Road to Prestige a little bit, then maybe that changes their mentality somewhat. But very much interested in your thoughts, as ever, on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.
Oh my God!